All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking an absolutely massive shift in artificial intelligence that dropped back in May 2026. OpenAI released this whole suite of 3 new real-time audio models. And look, we are officially moving way past those basic, honestly kind of frustrating voice interfaces of the past. We're stepping into the era of highly capable, reasoning voice agents. So let's explore together exactly what this technology is, how it works under the hood, and most importantly, what it actually means for your day-to-day life. Now, I want you to notice this exact phrasing from OpenAI. They are not calling these models voice assistants anymore. They're explicitly calling them real-time collaborators that can listen, reason, and solve complex problems as conversations unfold. That is a huge stake being planted right there. This isn't just about a computer understanding the words coming out of your mouth a bit faster. It's about a computer actively thinking through your complex problems while you are literally still speaking. So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll cover the voice AI leap. Second, meet the 3 models. Third, how real-time 2 thinks. Fourth, breaking the language barrier. Fifth, the everyday impact for you. And finally, we'll wrap up with the future of voice. Let's get into it. Starting with Section 2, meet the 3 models, completing the audio stack. OpenAI essentially exited beta by splitting their voice AI into 3 specialized, distinct tools. See, instead of offering one giant, expensive model that awkwardly tries to do everything all at once, developers now have 3 targeted options. First up is GPT-Realtime-2, which handles heavy conversational reasoning. Because it's doing some serious computational thinking, it uses token-based pricing, running about $32 per million input tokens. Then you got GPT-Realtime-Translate for perfectly seamless live language translation, and that's priced at just over 3 cents a minute. And finally, GPT-Realtime-Whisper handles streaming transcription for barely over a penny a minute. You just pick the exact right tool for the job. Moving to Section 3, how real-time 2 thinks GPT-5 class reasoning. Let's zero in on the flagship model here, Realtime 2. This is the absolute game changer, bringing what OpenAI calls GPT-5 class reasoning directly into live, flowing voice conversations. 128,000. That is the massive number of tokens this model can hold in its context window. Why does that matter? Well, human conversations are messy, right? We interrupt ourselves all the time, we change our minds mid-sentence, we vaguely reference something we brought up 5 minutes ago. Older models, which were stuck at a 32,000 token limit, would simply forget the beginning of the chat, or just totally break down. That 128,000 token capacity finally allows a voice agent to actually keep up with the chaotic, layered reality of how humans naturally talk. And to prove this isn't just marketing hype, look at the jump in the Big Bench audio scores. This is a tough benchmark that tests how well a model handles really complex, multi-step audio comprehension. The previous version, GPT Realtime 1.5, scored a respectable 81.4%, but GPT Realtime 2? It jumped all the way up to 96.6%. A 15.2% jump in complex reasoning is totally a generational leap. It means the model isn't just hearing the sounds you make, it's comprehending your intent at an incredibly high level. So how does that actually play out in practice? For starters, developers can now adjust the model's reasoning effort on a sliding scale from minimal all the way up to X high. If you're asking it to, say, compare complex financial options, it literally just thinks harder. It can also execute parallel tool calls. That means it can check your calendar, search a database, and pull up your customer file all at the exact same time. And honestly, my favorite feature? Built-in conversational preambles. It will naturally say something like, let me check that for you, while it thinks. That completely wipes out that horrible, awkward, dead silence that used to make us wonder if the AI had crashed. All right, on to Section 4, breaking the language barrier, real-time translate. This second model in the stack is a straight-up breakthrough for anyone who has ever hit a language barrier in business or in their personal life. This model supports over 70 input languages and translates them into 13 output languages simultaneously. It is explicitly optimized for live interpretation because it was trained on thousands of hours of professional interpreter audio. So it actually knows to wait for just enough context before speaking, making sure the sentence structure translates properly. And it even uses dynamic voice adaptation. This means it retains the original speaker's general tone, pitch, and style, instead of defaulting to some flat robotic voice. And here is how seamless that is for the user. Say you're on a phone call powered by Twilio, or maybe a video chat using LiveKit. The caller speaks freely in their native language. The backend system translates the audio live, and you, the listener, hear it in your chosen language in real time. It acts exactly like a sidecar interpreter. You don't have to wait your turn, you don't have to press a translation button, you don't have to read a screen. You just have a normal conversation. And the accuracy is stunning, especially for non-Western languages. Bolna AI, which is a company building voice tools for India, benchmarked this specific model across Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu. They recorded a 12.5% lower word error rate compared to any prior generation of models. It handles diverse regional phonetics beautifully, which makes this a truly globally useful tool. Section 5, Everyday Impact for You, How Life Changes. Okay, we are getting to the absolute core focus of this explainer. What is in it for you? What does all this highly technical infrastructure actually mean for a normal person going about their day? Let's just compare the old with the new. We all know the extreme frustration of old voice assistants. The awkward pauses, the way they completely shatter if you try to interrupt them, and that rigid, turn-based, you speak, wait, then I speak format. It was awful. The new voice agents talk while they think. If you say, hey, book a flight to New York, actually scratch that, make it Chicago, and grab a hotel too. It recovers instantly and perfectly preserves your ultimate goal without missing a beat. Let's paint a really practical scenario. The real estate giant Zillow is already using this. Imagine you're just driving through a neighborhood you like. You tap your phone and say, find me homes for sale around here under $600,000. Avoid busy streets and see if you can book a tour for any of them this Saturday morning. The AI reasons through your filters, interacts directly with the booking tools, and sets up your entire weekend, completely hands-free, while you keep your eyes safely on the road. Or consider the deeply human connection this unlocks. Think about healthcare intake flows for immigrant patients, where there is no longer a language barrier preventing a doctor from properly understanding their symptoms. Or think about bridging the gap with your own overseas relatives. You can finally have a fluid, perfectly natural phone call with grandparents who speak a different language, entirely skipping the painful, clunky delays of older translation apps. And we definitely can't forget the third model here, GPT Realtime-Whisper. Remember, it costs barely over a penny a minute, but it features 90% fewer hallucinations. That means it doesn't just invent random words when the room goes quiet. Because of this leap in reliability, flawless live captions, instant meeting notes, and high-end accessibility tools are about to become ubiquitous. Everywhere you go, highly accurate text of what is being spoken will just be instantly available to you. Section 6, the future of voice. End of the typing era? As these models become deeply, invisibly integrated into the apps we use every single day, we have to look at the massive societal shift forming right on the horizon. The overarching philosophy of this whole release is captured beautifully by this idea. Better voice AI will be judged less by how human it sounds and more by how well it handles uncertainty without wasting the user's time. That is exactly what OpenAI has solved here. The real breakthrough isn't just a prettier, smoother voice, it's sheer utility, it's grace under pressure. It is an AI that can finally handle the wildly unpredictable nature of real everyday life. So, I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. As we look forward to agents that can reason on the fly, book our appointments, and flawlessly translate languages in real time, when voice AI can handle the uncertainty and the messiness of real life this well, will we ever really need to type out our requests again? Let that sink in. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.